Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am NORFATIHah. So I will start with the introduction. We are going to discuss the sustainable features in the smart building in smart city. We choose Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation (MGTC) as our case study for this course. Thus, we have carried out an interview session with Encik Muhammad Irfan as engineer for building and facilities in MGTC to get all the information regarding to this assignment. MGTC is a government agency under authority of Ministry of Environment mandated to lead the country in the areas of green growth, climate change mitigation, and climate resilience and adaptation. MGTC is located at Bandar Baru Bani, Selangor and established since 1995. So, let's move to the sustainable and non-sustainable features of building services in MGTC building. The next sustainable feature is electricity supply. MGTC building is integrated with photovoltaic system, namely Building Integrated Photovoltaic (BIPV). The BIPV system is functioned to generate the electricity for geo buildings needs and exporting the extra electricity into national utility network. This case study building installed a 6 photovoltaic package, which are polycrystalline system, MO4 silicon system, monocrystalline glass system, monocrystalline system, and 2 thin film cadmium telluride polycrystalline system. The advantages of building integrated photovoltaic (BIPV) is reduced electricity bill. The photovoltaic system has their efficiency respectively. The higher efficiency of the solar panel, a large percentage of sunlight able to convert to electricity. The efficiency of photovoltaic helps the geo building reduce their electricity bills since they able to generate their electricity self. The more electricity produced, the less relying to the electricity supplier. So for the disadvantage of building integrated photovoltaic (BIPV) is it is depending on weather. The efficiency of solar system to collect the energy is in order to convert to electric will drop during cloudy and rainy days. So solar panels are depending on sunlight to generate maximum energy. Besides, the solar system cannot function during the night day to produce electricity. So for the recommendation in future for electric supply is providing a storage to keep the energy, especially as a preparation during monsoon season, which is the weather will always cloud and rainy. Other than that, feature in MGTC building is telecommunication system. Types of exchange system, which are private automatic branch exchange (PABX) system, is used in MGTC building. ABX telephone system is an effective solution consisting of hardware and software for managing calls. Computer will automate the switcher process to connect call between the extension. All the phones in the building will connect to the PABX with extension number. PABX will establish the call when the employees made a call within the building. The phone will ring when the interconnection finish and they able to talk. When making a call to external, the PABX will connect to public telephone exchange, which is public switch telephone network (PSTN) through service provider. The advantages of PABX system is low maintenance. The system doesn't require regular maintenance inspection. The system will synchronize to calls without the need for additional maintenance. For the disadvantage of PABX system is it is lack of mobility. Since the technology is still new, so the system lack the essential features of mobility. The system is still relies on old technology that may not be used in current work scenarios. For the future recommendation, it is recommended to do improvement in equipment. Since the current hardware is immobility, so it is easier when the equipment is mobility in the future.
Thank you, Fatihah, for the introduction. Move to the next part. My name is ANISA and I will explain about water supply system. Water supply refers to the process of distributing water to a community. After proper treatment, the water supply system obtain water from a range of sources, including surface water like rivers, lakes, as well as underground water like wells and springs. For our case study, MGTC only use a rainwater collecting system as their water supply system. Rainwater harvesting is a piece of technology that collect rainwater for human use. The element of rainwater harvesting: first, catchment surface; second, gutter and downspout. It is the vertical pipe connecting that direct water from the roof into the tank. Third, the filtration is the pipe that filter out dust and debris from the rainwater collection before it enter the tank. Lastly, storage tank, which the advantage of rainwater harvesting is first, it reduces soil erosion. During the rainy season, big storage tanks are essentially used to collect rainwater, which also helps some low-lying communities prevent flooding. Second, it's less expensive. The method will also save 50% on water bills. Therefore, collecting rainwater may assist lower water expenditure. For disadvantage of the system, first, it is easily contaminated. The water supply can be contaminated by animal droppings such as bird droppings on catchment surface and drain structure. Second, unpredictable rainfall. Rainfall harvesting depends on how much and how frequently it rains. As a result, it is not a dependable source of water during extended or several drops. Every raindrop is valuable in such location. In addition, in an interview session with Mr. Irfan, he also said that so far MGTC is still planning on the use of more sustainable water supply in their buildings. They want to make a plan for better use of this rainwater in the future as a need to investigate the application of the water harvesting technology on different types of water resources beyond from rainwater, particularly in water stressed state with little rainfall but highly demand of water. A system which is sewage system. A sewage system, often referred as a wastewater collection system, is indeed in a network of pipelines, pumping station and other equipment that carries sewage from its sources to location where it is treated and disposed of. For sanitary appliance in the MGTC building, only the same pocket applies sustainable features. A push start is a type of faucet where the water flows can be started by just pushing a button. The component consists of spindle, washer. The washer is placed directly on top of the valve sets and opens and closes to let water through. Third is spring, which the tap will automatically close if the spring is inserted between the tap body and shank. And lastly is tap button. The water tap's main body has a push button installed on it. Next, in terms of sanitary drainage, MGTC applies the partially separate system which some portion or surface line of is allowed to be carried along with sanitary sewage. Basically, the component include the sewer line, which is a single pipe that carries all the sewage from buildings, and then sewer pipe carry wastewater from household and corporate entities. As pumping station, it is to supply and pump up sewage treatments. Plan eliminate the necessity for such a large undertaking. So the advantage of push start type is easy to maintain and water saving. Push start are more durable because they turn off automatically. Besides, the disadvantage of push start pocket is limitation of water flow. It become a bit complicated to use this type of sink because there is a time limit for water to flow. Moving to the drainage system, the advantage of the partially separate, it does not needlessly pollute. Next, with the combination of property side sewer and water from the roof, gutter and drains, allow the movement of sewage to move more smoothly. For the disadvantage of the system, it has possibility of overflow. If there is heavy rainfall, it can cause loading in the treatment process. Besides, during the dry weather, the velocity of flow is very low because there is not enough water to help the movement of sewage and stormwater to water treatment plants. For the future, they plan to further expand sustainable elements for their sanitary appliances such as baydats and other to better control water use. Target in the water section, the MGTC has planned which energy efficient at wastewater treatment plants and last reliance on clean treat water for sedentary use.
My name is AMIRA, and I will explain on the refuse disposal system, air conditioning and ventilation system, and also the firefighting system. Next, I will explain on the refuse disposal system. For the MGTC building, they use two types of waste disposal, which are the controlled disposal waste and also recycling, reuse, and waste management. Controlled disposal of waste is the basic type of waste disposal. The occupant will throw the rubbish inside the waste bin or the recycling bin, then transfer it into a larger commercial bin outside the building. After that, once or twice a week, the garbage truck will come and collect all the waste and garbage inside the bin. Meanwhile, since the MGTC is a green energy office building, they apply a lot of green environmental tools and also recycling such as reusable printer ink and also reusable A4 paper. The advantage of this method are it is a simpler and also easier way of waste disposal. However, it is costly due to the need of providing a truck and also workers during the collection time. Next is the ventilation and also air conditioning system. Ventilation is the flow of air within the building and other enclosed space for the comfort of the occupant. There are two types of ventilation methods, which are the natural ventilation and also the mechanical ventilation. As for the air conditioning and ventilation system in the MGTC building, they use two types of air conditioning, which are the split system and also radiant cooling air conditioning. Split system air conditioning is the normally used air conditioning in the house and also in office. The best thing about this system, it is very quiet on the inside of the building, but loud and disturbing noise acquired on the outside of the building. On the other hand, the sustainable features, floor slab cooling system is the first and to be introduced and used in Malaysia. Radiant cooling will reduce the temperature of the floor by absorbing heat that is emitted from the rest of the space, and most importantly, this type of system is energy savings, but it is high cost in installation and also hard to be maintained. Last but not least from me is the firefighting system. Firefighting is considered as the act of extinguishing fire. The fire protection, there are two approaches, which are the active fire protection and also the passive fire protection. The term active fire protection refers to the tools that are manually or automatically detect and put out the fire. For example, portable fire extinguisher, automatic sprinkler system, alarm detection and alarm system, and others. Meanwhile, passive fire protection aims to stop and slow the spread of fire. It is a method of aid in giving the resident enough time to leave the building. For instance, compartment, escape routes, fire-resistant building structure, and many more. The pros of the firefighting system applied in MGTC building is that there are a lot of firefighting tools and compartments installed on the building, which make it easier to deal with the real fire event. However, cons are that the building is not adapted with the auxiliary radio communication system (ARCS).
Thank you, Amira. Next, I will present to you mechanical transportation system. So in MGTC, only use one type of elevator in the building, which is hydraulic elevator, in order to encourage their staff to use stairs. Meanwhile, in future recommendation, Encik Irfan stated they want to propose a grid elevator. Hydraulic elevator is less complicated than traction elevators, so making them suited for low traffic or low rise structures. So these elevators use a hydraulic mechanism to propel the elevator car higher against the force of gravity, while the car falls under the influence of gravity. So the elements are a plunger, hydraulic, power unit, and safety system. Next, we move to advantages and disadvantages of hydraulic elevators. So we have low requirement for civil engineering and maximum shaft usage. So the hydraulic elevator has minimal civil building requirements. It does not require a machine room, merely a load bearing wall, and it has minimal top level requirements. So disadvantages is hydraulic oil may discharge. After the service life of the domestic oil, cylinder piston seal ring wear and tear is possible. If it is not routinely changed, hydraulic oil will leak. So last one, we have future recommendation. According to Encik Irfan, MGTC also planning upgrade the hydraulic elevator system be more sustainable and eco-friendlier that combine renewable energy with daily power saving, making elevator and lift energy independent using the power solar. Alright, we move to the next system. Lastly, we move to the building security system. MGTC point of view, safety and security system are viewed as a basic part of building environment that are becoming increasingly prevalent in critical infrastructures. So there are three types of building security system. One is card access system. So card access system are utilized to control the entry and exit of your workers, renters and guests. Each individual gets their own card with the data for allowed access regions inscribed on it. So in MGTC, use barium ferrite card or known as RFID enable high frequency to transfer data through near field communication. So next is CCTV. MGTC also employs closed CCTV to monitor the security of every entering and leaving the office. In addition, the MGTC utilize tube cameras and low light infrared cameras. So this sort of camera is typically installed on every floor of a building as well in the corridor and conference room. Meanwhile, the low light infrared camera is placed outside the building, so underground and the parking lot. Also human surveillance, so security patrols or guards are required at every department of office center in order to secure the facilities and prevent any crimes from occurring. Next, we have advantages and disadvantages. So number one, we have enhanced security. So it is far more secure than any other approach since it requires two rather than one verification. So the disadvantages is time consuming. So two-factor authentication requires the user to prove his or her identity twice. So it can be time consuming. So next, we move to the CCTV advantages and disadvantages. So number one, we have it can reduce workplace harassment. So it is possible to reduce crime in the workplace significantly if employees are aware that CCTV cameras are in a place. Next, we have it could feel intrusive because extreme video monitoring can have a detrimental impact to the workers. So next, we have human surveillance. So security guards offer a visual deterrent to criminal activity. So when there is someone around who can prevent the vandalism or criminals are less inclined to try a damage to the property. So next, the disadvantages is greater liability. So a security officer is generally allowed to use reasonable force to maintain order and end a physical altercation, but the property management or the company will have a great cost to use them. Lastly is future planning. So according to Mr. Irfan, he stated that MGTC in progress to implement building automation system as their next green features to achieve zero energy building. By adding a building automation system BAS, one of these attempts aims to make buildings friendlier to the environment and the occupants. So for instance, depending on the presented data, BAS will adjust the temperature in the building according to the demands of the residents, or its sensor will reveal that the indoor air quality has to be improved. So that's all from me. Now we move to the conclusion. Thank you.
In the conclusion, sustainable features in a building really helps to make the building more efficient. However, whether the building is provided with sustainable features or not, it is very important to have a good building services and also management, because it is the main thing that matters when it comes to managing a building. Every building needs to be well managed for the safety and comfort of the occupant and also for the condition of the building itself. That's all from our group. Thank you so much for watching.